Right, stocks have rallied in recent weeks on optimism over cooling trade tensions between the United States and China, and we are expecting another milestone this week, the signing of that phase one deal. Eamon Javers joins us right now from Washington on what it all means. Good morning, Eamon.
Yeah, good morning, Becky. We saw the Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin on Fox over the weekend saying that they've finished now with the translation process of this deal, making sure that the Chinese and English versions of the deal say the same thing. He says the terms did not change during the course of that translation. That was one of the worries going into the final end game here before we get to that phase one deal signing later this week. Take a look at the truce here of where things are going to stand now that phase one is complete. They're going to be 15% tariffs reduced to 7.5% on $120 billion worth of goods. And then that 15% round on $150 billion worth of goods has been called off. That's the trade and tariff truce that we're going to see. In addition to those lower tariffs, we're also going to see some agricultural purchases by the Chinese side. We're going to see an enforcement mechanism put in place, all of that to be signed at the White House on Wednesday morning. And we're told that the White House has invited quite a number of people, about 200 attendees or more, including lawmakers, farmers, and some business leaders as well. So watch for some bold-faced names to appear at that signing ceremony on Wednesday. And then the big question, guys, is what comes next with this phase two deal as the two sides continue to talk. President Trump had initially said phase two negotiations will begin immediately after phase one. But I asked the president last week about phase two, and he suggested last week that he might let it wait until after the election. The president saying last week he thinks maybe he can get a better deal after the November election than he can in the run-up to the election. So presumably he's assuming he's going to win in November, but ultimately the president hinting that we might have a much longer lead time into phase two than many people had thought, guys.